Hello and welcome to the Stalled Short Film Showcase interviews. My name is David Stallings and I'm the owner and founder of Stalled Productions. Today I am joined by my friend Madalen Zachry from the production Bloom. Thank you so much for joining me today, Madalen.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So why don't we just start off with you introducing yourself and just a bit about you and what you do.
Okay, hi. My name is Madalen Zachry. I am an actor, producer, and model, and I was one of the producers on the short film titled Bloom.
Awesome. So could you start off as well with telling us a little bit about the production Bloom that you were in?
Yeah, so Bloom is a film that was written and directed by my good friend Khloe Everett. It's a love letter to the Western genre. So a lot of the shots and a lot of the inspiration comes from classic Westerns like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There's also Rango, there's True Grit. So you can see elements in each of those. And it follows the story of a woman whose sister was murdered. And she's coming to terms with her grief and figuring out how she should proceed, if she should get revenge or if she should just sit in the grief.
So what was it like acting in this production as well as producing it?
It was good. I felt like I was wearing the actor hat and the producer hat at both times, so I'd be dripping with blood and then just walking around set, and then I literally have a hat that says Madam Producer, and I wore that and I had the blood dripping down my face, and then I'd be like, move that thing over there. Or there's blood. So it was good though. It was good. I love the people who we were working with, and it just kind of felt like, just felt right. I don't know, just like a little bit weird. I remember there was one day when I was covered in dirt, blood, and I was just filthy all day long, but it was just like the happiest day.
That is, that really does encompass what we do.
Yes.
Despite all of the stuff that's on me that we're just waiting to get to film it, it's still so fun.
Mm-hmm. So fun.
And I would love to learn a bit about you. So how did you actually get into independent filmmaking, acting, modeling? How did you get into this industry as a whole?
Yeah, so I started acting when I was in 3rd grade. It was theater acting, and I was a theater kid from about 3rd grade to maybe 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got into college, I realized that my true passion was in film. One of the other filmmakers who worked on Bloom, Paul Moldenhauer, he DP'd one of my first films, and it was a love story, and I was cast as the lead, and I had such a fun time because there was a travel element to that film.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get out of just a theater space and kind of go out into the real world, and I really loved the element of film that was so intimate and real.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that if you had a prop, like a food prop, it was actually food and you're eating it versus just pretending. So.
Yep.
And I also just like that it was very natural. I think it felt a lot realer to me than theater because I'm a pretty reserved person, just naturally. So being able to have the intimacy of the microphone and the camera and the frame a lot closer than an audience, like feet away, it's something that I really love. So I started that about 5-6 years ago, and from film acting, I then morphed into commercial acting, and then I got into modeling. So there's a little bit of overlap in all of them. My agency covers all three, but what I really love is just also meeting the people on each of these sets.
Mm-hmm.
I love networking and getting to know people like you or different directors and actors on different projects. And I think it's one of the things that's really special to me is the community aspect as well as projects. So that's how I got into independent filmmaking and modeling, commercialing. I guess just meeting more people who have more work, and then work kind of brings more work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And especially that community part, obviously for you and I, we're working together a lot now, and that comes from the fact that we both happen to enjoy the networking side of this.
I know,
and
yeah.
the community side, and just like, oh yeah, I know this person, and connecting, and how can we collaborate, which like I think people are scared of doing sometimes, and when we actually come together and do that, it's like the sky is suddenly the limit, which is awesome.
Well, you never know what a relationship is going to end up being. Like, you know, when I first met you were just an actor in one of my projects, and then now we're coworkers in a streaming platform. So you never know what could happen. And one of my mentors in the industry told me something that's really stuck with me, and he said, there's no such thing as an organization or a business. It's all the people behind it. So if you say, oh, I'll reach out to Stalled, there's no such thing as just the Stalled entity. It's you and the people who are part of Stalled. So getting to know those people, it's getting to know them personally, and then also being able to, it just helps you with networking, because you're like, oh yeah, I know the founder of Stalled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with Bloom as well, you said that you're a producer, you're involved with a lot of projects. What was it that drew you towards Bloom specifically? What is it that brought you in and you wanted to be a part of this project?
Yeah, so my friend Khloe pitched this idea to me about 2 years before actual production. So she was telling me about the story and how it was essentially the song by Marty Robbins, Big Iron, but it's a female version of it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Did you? Yeah. Does the whole movie make sense now?
That's very funny.
Okay, so you know what that song is. So
Yes.
Big Red is Red. Who's the bad guy?
Okay.
You didn't know this?
I didn't put that together.
Okay, so it's the ballad of Big Iron, and it's just the main character is a woman, and Khloe, when she was writing her script, gave the backstory to the villain and the hero. So I just thought that was a really fun idea.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about logistics, I was able to use some of my finance background to just kind of put together a budget and help with a little bit of the logistics, and that's how I jumped into actually producing it. But I also just really loved the people who were on the project. I saw who was already kind of on deck, and I was like, yeah, definitely want to spend time working with these people.
Yeah. Oh man, I did not put that together.
Does it make sense now?
Yeah, that does make more sense now. That's very funny.
You're like, why is there poetry at the
I'm gonna enjoy watching it again at the showcase.
Okay, good.
Oh man. So for you, what does making films give you that nothing else does in your life?
Yeah, it's a creative outlet, and I think the majority of my friends are in some way creatives or filmmakers, so I don't really plan it that way, but the people who I'm hanging out with on a regular basis is usually for a project, getting ready for a project, or in post-production or pre-production for something. So it's given me people I can lean on and good friends. I've made a good community through film that I don't think I would have had if I were just either watching the films or just not involved at all. And I think it's given me a place to express myself emotionally. A couple of years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I never cried in front of anybody. I never wanted to show emotions. I just wanted to be this kind of like upbeat, perfect slate of a human, and I didn't explore other emotions like grief or sadness or jealousy. And film is a cool outlet where people can explore those emotions in a setting where it's open for conversation, and it's something where there's like a cathartic experience when you're watching the finished product all together. Yeah.
Well, speaking of watching it all together then, which we're going to do, what is it about Bloom what from Bloom do you hope the audience takes away from it after seeing it?
One of the big themes of the short film is revenge. And I've had a couple experiences in my life where the first thing I think of doing, or the thing that I stew on, is how do I get back? How do I make things right? And sometimes when you're dealing with grief or trauma, there's nothing you can do, but you want to do something. So if there were one thing that I could ask people take away from this movie, it's that grief will look different from everybody, but sometimes it's okay to just sit in the grief and accept it and acknowledge that you're grieving. And yeah.
Well, with that, I appreciate you sitting and having this interview with me. Is there anything else you would like to share with folks before we wrap up?
Come to the Stalled Showcase.
You heard it here. How can people reach out to you, keep up with you, or potentially collab with you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Madalen_Z. Madalen is spelled MADALEN _Z, as in zebra.
Yep, we all just talked about how we misspelled your name.
That is how I spell my name.
All right, awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for having this interview with me, Madalen. I'm very excited to show Bloom at the showcase. And you can come see it, too, at Pollack Cinemas on June 20th to come see Bloom and all the other movies that we are showing. Go to stalledshowcase.com and get your tickets there. Thank you.